All right, all right, all right. The Cape. It's a long story. All right, all right, all right. Well, I wanted to go ahead and get started here. Goodness. And introduce to you my friend Anthony Caety. Caety. I know I mispronounce it all the time. Sorry about that. Hold on, where is this? Oh, I didn't update the PowerPoint slide. That's why. All right, so I want to show you the power of when you step your game up a little bit. So this is Anthony Caety before he started working at Cutco. Let me show you what happened when this guy started getting his shit together. Bam! All of a sudden, the man loses like 40 pounds. Not even joking, that's actually real. And then shortly after, boom! I'm telling you, these are not just knife skills, people. These are life skills to get that wife skill. Cutco sales professional. Court of honor, Rolex wearing. He won a Rolex by working at Cutco, by the way. Standard of excellence means he's got that 4-foot tall sword behind Jenna. $1.5 million in personal sales. Did I say $500,000 earlier? Multiply that by 3. Best year ever in 1 year, $370,000 of sales. He's had a $29,000 week of sales, making 50% commission. In 1 day, he sold $15,000 of Cutco. Largest order, $13,000. He's gone 26 for 26 on pushes. Meaning every time he's tried to do a sales competition, all 26 of them, he sold $10,000. And his largest push ever is $42,000 in 18 days. So grab your notes so you can learn how to get yours together too and change that life. What's up? What's your question on that?
Largest order, was that like one Zoom call?
One customer bought $13,000 on one order. Expand your mind, right? Expand your mind. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off so you can get the full effect and bring this off. Some of you guys, I told them that you'd sold like $50,000 of Cutco. I kind of built you down a little bit so I can build you up here. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, give a round of applause for my friend, Mr. Anthony Caety.
Well, thank you guys. Nice. I can see
Hold
all
on,
your
hold on,
faces. I
hold
was
on.
wondering if Damien was going to turn me around.
Yeah, I'm gonna gotta make sure the audio is because right now we can't hear you as well. Speaker. All right, hit it.
Cool. Audio good?
Audio good.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey guys, what's up? Good to see you guys. I am grateful to be here. Obviously, as Damien mentioned, I've been in Cutco for a while. Started back in June of 2017, and I think I met Damien in January 2018. I think we're in an airport on the way to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and so that was
100%.
a fun time. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's where it was, and yeah, we've gone on a bunch of trips together since, and it's been cool to not only see like both of us grow up in the business, but just meet people together. And I'm excited to get back to you guys because so many people that are in my position when I was in your position gave back to me as well. So Damien asked me to talk about average order. Obviously, there's a lot of cool stats that I have of what I've sold on an order in a week and a year, and all that stuff's great. But I think the cool part is that what a lot of those stats don't show is what it actually looks like day to day, right? It's not as easy as just like showing up and people just throw credit cards at me. I wish that was the case, but that's just not how it works, right? It actually takes a lot of practice and effort and just consistent grind to make like those numbers happen. And I appreciate Damien saying that I have my shit together. I like to think so sometimes, but my fiance tells me otherwise sometimes. Yes, and I did actually meet my fiance selling Cutco, by the way. So maybe you'll meet your future fiance selling Cutco. I was set up a booth, and she was selling raffle tickets for a nonprofit at the booth next to us. So and also like I know all those numbers look great, but if you couldn't tell I was a good salesman, just look at that one picture again, and you'll understand how good at sales I am. I definitely hit that one out of the park. But anyways, let's get into it. So yeah, so talk about average order. So I actually just looked at my average order and I really didn't know what it was. That's probably something I should be more focused on. But it's 661. So $661 CPO is my average order. So basically I'm making about 315 or 330, sorry, bucks per order. And that is very exciting. That's basically a little more than a 5 piece for every customer. That's a starter set basically for every customer. Obviously, I'm not selling a starter set to every customer, but there's a lot of customers that sell one knife, and there's a lot of customers that sell a homemaker and ultimate, or even bigger too, right? And that's how it averages out. Um, I just want to start off by, kind of giving you guys an outline of like what my talk is going to look like. If you're somebody that's taking notes, I'm an outline type person, and there's going to be 3 things I talk about, and then I'll leave some time for Q&A at the end. So the first one is going to be mindset and expanding your comfort zone. So mindset and expanding your comfort zone. Second thing is going to be being in rapport and nailing your pitch. So being in rapport and nailing your pitch. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is closing big and upselling into bigger. So closing big and upselling into bigger. So let's talk about mindset. I'm in full belief that 2 philosophies that I believe about Cutco selling. First is it's majority you and your mindset. In my opinion, everybody has the same, if not similar, customer types. And the cool thing about Cutco is we all have the same script, the same prices, the same product, the same legacy. Everything's the same. The only difference between a good rep and a bad rep or a great rep or wherever you want to be at is the rep, right? It's 100% up to you on, in my opinion, how good you are at selling Cutco and how confident you are in selling Cutco. There's people that are way better than me at selling Cutco, and I'm striving to be like them. But at the end of the day, it's all about me. It's not about the customer. It's not about the product, right? All that stuff stays the same. I'm the only thing that's the thing that changes. And the other thing is that people buy Cutco and love buying Cutco. And not only that, people spend a lot of money on things that they don't look at, see, touch, feel, experience. I'm just going to give you guys some examples, and it's funny because I think about, like money, right? And that's what, average order relates to a lot. And it's funny how like money increases as you get older, right? Like when you're a toddler, $5 is like the lottery, right? But then when you're like a teenager, like $50, $100 is like, oh my gosh, holy cow. And then like when you're in high school, it's like a few $100. Then in college, it's like 1,000. As an adult, it's like 10 grand. And then it just goes up and up and up, right? I've literally in the past few weeks have spent just like multiple $1,000s, not trying to flex on you guys, just on a whim, right? Like I got my tires replaced. That was like $800. I had an engagement party. That was 3 grand for 2 hours. I bought an engagement ring. I won't tell you guys the price, but like that's something that people spend money on. And it's so crazy because I talked to a lot of these customers, at shows, and they buy like $20,000-$30,000 hot tubs. They didn't bathe in the hot tub. They buy, $5,000 to $10,000 mattresses. They didn't sleep on the mattress, right? They buy $2,000 Traeger grills. They didn't sit there and grill out at the home show, right? And that's the same thing with you guys' virtual demos, right? The customer doesn't need to cut with Cutco. They don't need that experience. Is it nice? Yes, it can be, but they don't need it, right? And that's the thing. I think you guys need to like, if you haven't already, like shifted your mindset. Like Cutco's awesome, and it's all it is your job to transfer that awesomeness to the customer and transfer that belief to the customer, right? My mom, she's an empty nester now, and she just remodeled like a small guest bathroom that like no one ever uses, right? Like there's 3 bathrooms in my mom's house where I grew up. One of them was my sister and I shared. The other one was like a guest one. The other one's hers, right? She remodeled the guest one that like nobody's ever used in a decade. It was $12,000 to remodel that. Like that's just mind-boggling, And I just want you guys to like expand your mind to the fact that like people spend money, right? Like $1,000, $2,000 for a knife set is not a lot. It might be to you, but it's not to them, right? So I just want to start with that and just kind of like help you guys expand your mindset. All right, next thing, let's get into the nitty gritty. First thing, like I said, be in rapport, nail your pitch. There's a phrase that goes around in Cutco, and it's know me, like me, trust me, pay me. Know me, like me, trust me, pay me. And I think the reason that, rapport and nailing your pitch ties into average order so much is because the more you're in rapport, the more the customer will, not only like you, but trust you, and the more they'll pay you. And also, nailing your pitch is how you build the product conviction for the customer. It's how you get them to like want to buy it, right? Like at the end of the day, like, yes, we're sales reps, but the first part of our job is also demoing the product, right? And that's the key. That's where you build the value. And once the value is way, higher than the price, that's when customers start buying because the value is so high that the price is just a no-brainer, right? And I think a lot of people, it's know me, like me, trust me, pay me. I think a lot of people skip the like me and the trust me, when they're doing rapport, right? Like ask yourself, how good are you at building rapport? Do they know you and then pay you sometimes? Like, is it 50-50 shot here? Are you gambling at the casino with your customers, right? Or is it like you have so much rapport with these people that not only they don't know you, not only do they like you, but the most important one by far is trusting you, right? I don't know if you guys have ever like gone, and bought something from a salesperson, like a car or a mattress or, tires or whatever, a realtor, right? I'm in the process of buying my first house, and the first realtor, I just didn't like them. Like it was weird. You might be like, oh, that's kind of rude, Anthony, but they just kind of gave me weird vibes, right? And it's because they didn't really build rapport. And as a salesperson, that matters to me. And all of a sudden, like imagine that person, they just like lost that sale. Imagine if they had just built a little bit of rapport, not let alone a lot of rapport. Imagine how much farther that would have gone. So ask yourself, are you really building rapport and letting them like you and trust you? And then also, how big are you sharing your goals? Because I will tell you, there are so many customers that will buy that much bigger, let it be, whether it be a set or even just an extra few knives on each order, because of your goals, right? Especially the people that just meet you for the first time. It's so like, obviously your goals matter to family and friends, but imagine like how powerful it is for you to tie somebody into a goal when you literally just met them for the first time. And once you get to like a lot of your referral based demos, that's who the people are, right? They're people that have never met you before. And it's just really cool, to be able to like tie them into your goals. And also never stop sharing your goals either. I actually stopped sharing my goals for about a year into the like probably like halfway into my career, maybe like a few years ago, but not like early in my career, just because I was like meeting all these random people in the booth and I was like, they don't care about my goals. And what's funny is I was right. They don't care about my goals. However, but it's my job to like make them care. And it's also an extra reason I can give them to like give them a special deal or sweeten the deal or give them a reason. And obviously you guys have learned probably a lot on how to share your goals and you can follow your script and manual. But for me, it's as simple as, hey, Mrs. Jones, I know we just met actually. And, I know I'm just like the random knife guy. But I just have this huge goal and I know it doesn't really matter to you. But it's actually the reason that I'm really motivated to be here. And it's the reason I'm willing to like give you an extra special deal. And like I said, I know it doesn't matter to you, but I just wanted to tell you about it real fast. As simple as that. Be like, hey, I know it doesn't really matter to you, but it means the world to me. So like, let me just tell you about it real quick because that's the reason I'm giving you this deal or this special or this free peeler or free kitchen tools at the homemaker, whatever it is, free pair of shears at the homemaker, right? Just that little extra something to like get them over the hump is so big and it just makes them want to buy it even more. And it's so cool that like we have a job that allows us to like express ourselves and share ourselves, with our customers like that. And it's crazy how tied in customers get. And then also it's crazy. Like I've been selling Cutco for what is it, 7, 8 years now. I still have customers like follow up with me and be like, hey, did you win that Rolex? I'm like, yeah, that was 3 years ago. And they're like, oh, cool. Glad you won it. And it's like out of the blue, right? And I was like on this mission to hit the Cutco Rolex in 2021. I'm like, yeah, it was 3 years ago. Or like the goal I had been sharing because I got engaged in December. All of last year was like, yeah, I'm saving for an engagement ring. And like, how much that costs? And I was like pointing at Mr. Jones, and he's like, oh yeah, for sure. And it's funny because like I still have customers texting me after they've all seen my Facebook post about it because, of course I gotta share, right? They're like, hey, did you get engaged yet? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And it's so cool to see like customers just like, following up with those goals because I made the intentionality to like actually talk about them. So yeah, share your goals. Obviously, follow your script. That's the easiest way to nail the pitch, right? Everybody has a script. Even I have scripts, right? And I still follow them. And they're from people that like are better than me at the job. And I acknowledge that. And I'm humble enough to like realize that I'm not the best. So might as well follow what the best is doing. And the nice thing about your script is it was not only made by the best, but it was made by the company. And I don't know how many billions of dollars Cutco has sold in knives in the 75 years, but it's a lot more than you or me. So safe to say that they know what they're talking about and like the best of the best, know what they're talking about. So might as well like, find the master and follow the model. That's also a big nugget. So, all right, to wrap up this talk, last thing I'll talk about, probably the most important thing when it comes to average order. And honestly, probably the reason you're here. I just wanted to, start out with those first two things. But yeah, closing big and upselling into bigger. So first thing, always stay package or set focused, not the customer, you. Always stay set or package focused and always relay that focus and like tell your customer about the package. So what I mean by that is make sure you're like trying to stay in some sort of set, right? Even if that's like a buy three, get one free, it's still a package. Even that, obviously we have preset sets like homemakers and galleys and essentials and ultimates, right? A 5-piece, that could be a set, right? Even a 2-piece could be a set. Just stay some sort of set. And the reason is because customers love feeling like they're getting. It's not about the actual deal you're getting them. It's them. They're feeling that they're getting a deal, right? And that's why the homemaker free shears is so amazing because you're literally giving them like $141 pair of shears for free. Holster adds an extra $4, right? Basically $145 worth of free product. Like, when was the last time you went to the Apple store, bought an iPhone or a MacBook, and they just like gave you the AirPods? Never. That doesn't happen. When was the last time you went to the Louis Vuitton store and bought a $2,000 purse and they gave you the little wallet that goes in it for free? Never, because that doesn't happen, right? Cutco is like an awesome luxury product that you give something for free to them. And sure, it takes a little bit of hit on your commission, right? But that's totally worth it. I do that all the time because if it's that little extra thing that you can take a small hit on your commission to give them, it's a no-brainer, right? It's just something that will totally get them over the spot, right? And the other thing about that is keep in mind, like when customers buy things, they are in sets and kits. So for example, if you go to like Cabela's or Bass Pro, can you buy individual items? Sure. But a lot of the stuff comes in like hunting kits, fishing kits, outdooring kits. When you go and look at, for example, like a furniture store, right? They do sell the sheets separate. They sell the pillows separate. They sell the mattress separate, but they also sell it as like a package with like the sheets and the pillows and the, comforter and the mattress. They sell a dining set. Sure, could you buy a chair separately? Yes, but most people buy a dining room table and chairs, right? And not just that, but like there's tons of other things. You go to Bath and Body Works, they sell all those like individual, perfumes and lotions separately. But what's in the front of the store right when you walk in? All the gift sets, right? That have like 3 or 4 things in them. So hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm saying, but you get it. Like stores keep things set focused, and as sales reps, our job is to do that as well. Now, keeping set focused with your customer. So I'll just finish quickly up with this. Hopefully I'm not running over time, but just make sure that like whenever somebody's like, hey, how much is this, right? Like if they're like, how much is a trimmer? You'd be like 92 individually, but hey, just so you know, like if you buy it, if you buy 2 other knives, you get another knife for free. So like you're telling them the price, but then you're also giving them option B, right? Yeah, just so you know, it's like 92, but it comes in the homemaker set, which just so you know is, whatever, $300 a month, just rough guess, right? So literally if you could spend an extra $200 on top of that trimmer, you get a homemaker set just for 5 months, right? Just kind of that thing, right? Just so that 5-piece set, the cool thing is when you buy it as a 5-piece, Cutco will build it over 5 months. You're basically paying for 1 knife a month, just auto build, and it's super cool. By the way, promote the 5-pay. That's a big thing. Promote the 5-pay. It's interest free, same as cash. Why would you not take advantage of Cutco's money, right? It's literally just, it's free, right? There's no interest, there's no credit check, there's no like, there's a $12 fee. But when somebody's buying something that's $500, who really cares about, or $1,000 or $2,000, who cares about $12? Last thing I'll talk about is upselling, upserving, same thing, right? So once you get the initial order, how to get your order bigger. Imagine if you literally just added one knife to every order. Literally, if you just, every homemaker you sold, you add a cheese knife. Every, single knife, you add an extra knife. Any, 5-piece, you add 2 gadgets. Let's just say, imagine if you added $100, 100 CPO to every order. If you get 5 orders in a week, that's an extra 500 CPO. If you're making half, that's an extra $250. Even if you're making the initial 10%, that's an extra $50 in your pocket. Cool thing is that compounds, right? Like if you do that every week for a month, that's an extra 2,000 CPO a month, right? If you do that over a year, that's an extra $24,000 in CPO you didn't have, right? Just imagine, and that's one knife. That's not like, oh, I sold him a homemaker and I'm going to upsell him a flatware chest. That's just one knife. Imagine how many times you could upsell and just upsell a single item and how much that could increase everything. And the cool thing also about what you guys are doing is, I think Damien told me a lot of you guys are 100% virtual. The cool thing is like everything you guys do is profit, right? Like even and demos are the most profitable thing, in the Cutco game, right? Like you don't have like show fees, you don't have like, marketing, right? You just, even if you go in person, you pay for gas, right? But on virtual, like you're 100% profitable. So that's the cool thing is like anything you add when you're upselling is just like that much more profit and you're keeping all of it, right? And I won't talk specifically, right, about like how to sell a bigger set or like how to sell flatware, right? It's just the concept of like, increasing your average order through closing bigger and upselling. Last thing I'll say about upselling is get the credit card first, right? Like get their credit card info, whether you have to like write it down or if you're in person, just like physically take the card, right? And then start going, because the reason you want to is because you don't want them to backtrack. You don't want them to be like, oh, well, maybe I'll think about this since it's a better deal. It's like worst comes to worst, they say no to the upsell and be like, hey, no worries. We'll just, run the order like normal, but you still have the credit card, right? I can tell you I've had it a handful of times. This really sucks, right? I didn't get the credit card, started upselling, right? I got really excited, right? Try to add a flatware chest to a homemaker or a cookware set to an ultimate or something. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, let me think about that package. Like, I'll be back. Or like, maybe we'll think about that. I'm like, dang it, right? Like, I will wish I had just like done what I know to do, and that's like get the credit card, then start asking quality questions. Like, do you guys, barbecue, right? To add a barbecue set. Do you guys entertain, for fork spoons? Do you have good cookware at home, right? And start asking those questions and then close. And just like kind of like you guys, you do a free pair of shears for a homemaker. Anytime you upsell something, just give them something for free, right? Be like, hey, Mrs. Jones, if you add those extra 5 knives, I'll just get you a gadget for free. If you add that flatware chest, I'll get you, blank for free, right? It's safe to say that like if you're going from $1,000 order to $2,000 order, would you be willing to give 2 free items? I don't know about you guys, but I would, right? Like I would totally be down. So yeah, and that's a lot of stuff in a short talk. Hopefully that helps you guys out a lot. And I'm open for Q&A if you have time. But yeah, like I said, just open your mindset, build rapport, nail your pitch, close big, and upsell as much as you can. So thank you guys for having me, and hopefully you got some nuggets from that.
We've got Mr. Caety here. Do you want to ask anybody have any questions they wanted to ask, or anything they wanted to have him clarify what he was talking about? Go once. Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony. Appreciate you, man. All right. There was a couple things I wanted to clarify. Oh my God, my voice. It's all right, no problem. Do you know your average order size? Do you know how to look for it? VectorConnect.com, my account, my statistics. I don't think doing it right now, by the way, but as an assignment, go look at your average order size. And what if you focused on increasing it by $25 to $50 this month? 10 appointments, an extra $50 for an appointment. That means it's $500 extra. You can't improve what you're not measuring. Just as a thought process here. The concept of people spend a lot of money. You guys should go to home shows and see how much people are spending. And the big thing about that is that really should influence the way you say prices. Like when you're saying it's $1,649, it really matters that you say just $1,649 versus $1,649. Mrs. Jones, don't hurt me. You have to say it like it's not a lot of money. Just pretend like it's $16.49, because that like home shows that Anthony's talking about, that's the equivalent of what people are spending like on, backyards and roofs and stuff like that for sure. Transfer of enthusiasm, right? Like, can you get your customers excited about like how you get your friends excited about your favorite band? Like you have to get as excited as possible about a vegetable peeler, because go look at moms inside of these like, home stores, and they're really fired up about this stuff too. Asking, getting people to trust you. I really like that line that he says, hey, so, I know that you're taking a look at the homemaker set, and, I've got this really big goal that I'm working on right now, and it might not matter that much to you, but it matters a lot to me. The reason why that line is really powerful is because it's kind of a little bit of a push away. And I think what it does is a lot of customers are like, wait, no, like I like to care about people's goals. Isn't that why we watch sports? Because we care about other people's goals? Just as a thought. And so that creates more trust. I thought that was really good. Tying people into goals of what you're looking to do. If you're looking to pay for college, if you're looking to buy a house, hey, I know that doesn't really mean that much to you, but to me, like I'm the first person in my family that's going to buy a house or pay for college or whatever the deal is. I think that's really valuable too. And then lastly is once the customer has agreed to buy something, and you're literally writing up the order in the app and you're about to press submit, don't. And instead go back to that wish list that you were working on and be like, hey, Mrs. Jones, I've got this really big goal that I'm working on right now. What if I give you a really good deal on adding that cheese knife to this deal? If they're going to add one knife, just hook them up with a free cutting board. Hook them up with a free vegetable peeler. It'll go up by like 60, 70, 80 CPO every time. You successfully do that on a couple of demos, and all of a sudden you're in good shape. So anyway, just a couple of things that I got out of Anthony's talk. We're recording this, so if you want to go back and watch it, you can kind of clarify some of it and go for some more. But thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys. Peace.
All right. So we have one last message here, and I think this is going to kind of tie into some of the stuff that you guys are going through right now. Is anybody going through some challenges right now? Is anybody going through some mental challenges right now, trying to manage a lot of things emotionally, mentally, and school and this job? Me and Kaylee talked about this earlier this week, and we came up with some stuff that's like some real wisdom. And some of it I came up with from my experience, and some of it she came up from her experience of being part of a family of 9 people. By the way, she's got a full-time job with Cutco, basically, where she's a rep, and she's an assistant manager, and she's getting a 4.0 GPA. Meaning she's managing a lot of life successfully right now too. So we kind of looked at some of the things that she's dealing with properly right now, and hopefully you get something out of it. So give a round of applause to your sales manager, Miss Kaylee.
So, like I was saying, I don't know if anyone else has been feeling it, but this time of year has been kind of rough. A lot of my friends, we've all just kind of like hit a wall right now. Like, I don't know what's going on with it, let it be commitments with work or school or your family, anything like that. But I just kind of want to talk a little bit about how to help you balance those commitments and things like that. So the first thing that you have to do is just recognize the importance of the things in your life and the problems with dropping the ball completely to like go do one thing. One thing over the other. So we all put different like levels of importance on different aspects of our life. Let it be work, school, family, friends, health, hobbies, whatever. We create some innate like hierarchy of like the levels of how much power we like put into them and how important they are to me. And we try to create balance between those things, of course, but shit happens. Sorry, but it does. Like, so whenever things come up, it's important to realize that a majority of the time, not only do those things affect you, but they affect a lot of people around you as well. So whenever something comes up, you run into a situation where you have to drop the ball on one commitment, you really have to take a minute and think about how is this going to affect not only me, but anyone else who is in that same situation. You really got to take a second to reflect. So I'm going to have like a running example throughout this talk. So let's say your mom asked you to come help the family out because they're going to throw a surprise party for your sister, right? And it's like this upcoming Saturday, but then on Monday you have this really big midterm that's you've been stressing about for some time. You know you got to study for it. So you're like, what do I do? You know, I don't want to open up the opportunity to let my little sister down. It's her birthday and they're doing a surprise party, but then I can't let myself down because I got to study for my midterm. Just an example, tough situations to be in. So then this leads to the second thing, kind of just creating limits once you decide to change your plan. So for this example, let's say you decide go help your family out. Can't let your little sister down. Like, come on, we're not going to let her go through that. So this doesn't mean you just completely drop the ball with yourself on not studying for those midterms. This means that you have to set some limits. You have to set some boundaries. So you decide you're going to go down and help, but you have to create some time that you're going to step away and you're also going to study. And this takes, it's like a little compromise, you know, it takes a lot of self-discipline, but it is 100% worth it because you can, it's just going to help you out so much in the long run. And you can make as many compromises as you want in your own brain. They're not going to be effective if you don't communicate it with people. So that leads me to the third point. It's just communicating those limits to the people who are sensitive to the situation, to those people that are involved. So the effectiveness of the boundaries you set completely rely on you communicating them. If they are all up here, nothing's going to happen. And so let's just say you show up to the surprise party and then you just bounce. You're like, all right, I'm going to study. Your family's like, what? What is this going on? Boundary was not set in the correct way. It creates lots of confusion. So you let your mom know beforehand, like, hey, would love to come down and help, but I do have a midterm that next Monday. So I'm going to have to take some time to prepare and study while I'm still there. Just setting that boundary, communicating it. And not only are you going to seem super responsible to your mom, or just like saying that in the first place, but it also opens up the opportunity for her to help hold you accountable and make sure that you do those things. Which then leads into the next point, just allowing other people to hold you accountable. So when those boundaries are communicated, you've made everyone in the situation feel respected, including yourself. You're respecting you by taking the time to do what you need to do. But to make sure that it really sticks, you know, we are college kids, we do tend to forget things sometimes. You need to be open to other people giving you reminders, keeping you accountable. So that could easily just be like, hey, Mom, you know, could you just give me a little reminder whenever we're in the middle of setting things up that like I gotta study? Or if you have time, could you even help me study for my exam? This could also be texting like your best friend, your significant other. Hey, text me at 8:30 on Friday night and tell me that I need to study for my exam. Like, please, it'll help me out a ton. Just set yourself up for the best way possible. And it just helps the reliability of everything that you committed to really sets it in stone. But then the last thing that you do is just follow through. Especially whenever you're in a moment of weakness or like challenge. I know we've all been in situations where we have a commitment and then we just have a day. Like the things not going so good up here, like I'm not feeling it type of day. We've all been there. I've had them plenty of times. But it's important that despite those moments of weakness and challenge that we persevere, follow through with the same things that we were committed to. And the best thing about it all is if you do all of this, it's going to make it so much easier because you have your support system already set in stone. You have that commitment set right there. You have that for yourself to hold you accountable. You have other people holding you accountable. And it just becomes that much easier all through all those things. And I am by no means a master on this whatsoever. I will say that I'm still trying to figure it out. But this is a skill that I've just recently started to try and like work on a lot. And it really has helped me out a ton. And we don't have like kids yet. Now we're not full adults that have big old jobs and everything like that. We are going to grow up and we're going to have a lot more commitments and a lot more responsibilities. So if we work on it right now, it's going to help us so much more in the future. But I know it's getting close to the time and we went over. So that's pretty much it. Thank y'all.
That was awesome. By the way, I don't know who, I feel like somebody in this room really needed that talk. I think that number 5 thing is so much harder to do if you don't do 1 through 4. Like, you guys know what moments of weakness are, right? Like when she was talking about like, I need to study for an exam 8:30 and like your best friend just showed up to the party. That's a moment of weakness. Or like you set your alarm to make phone calls for Saturday morning and you're having a moment of weakness. It's impossible to be strong by yourself sometimes, right? We get by with a little help from our friends. That song is pretty important, right? Because it's true. So again, recognize the importance of the different aspects of your life. Hey, you know what? I got to help out my little sister with her birthday party, but I also got to help out myself. Don't give up on yourself just because it's the easiest person to give up on, because no one's going to say anything about that other than you. Creating limits, super valuable that you communicate that before you get there. Be like, hey, I'm willing to go do this, but just so you know, between 5 and 7 p.m., I got to study. And Sunday, I'm leaving at 1. If that's not okay with you, I'm not coming down for the weekend. So that way, like, they understand in advance. You can't start setting limits in the middle of it. That's the big thing that I hope you guys got from that, is that you can't start making changes in the middle of things once you compromise. It's got to be set up in advance. I like the allowing people who care about you to hold you accountable. Just follow through. I think that's huge. So thank you so much. I do have to request before you guys get going that we fill out our team meeting sign out form. This was kind of right beforehand. If you guys can go ahead and fill this out, there's a couple things that we have coming up. We have our phone jams that you guys can go ahead and select which one if you want to go to any of them that are important to you. Number 2, also very important, is on Wednesday, we have a on-campus event. And if anybody's available, it's a job fair. It's indoors, nice and warm. So it's not going to be raining. So we're going to be inside of the student center. So if you want to stop by, whether it's for a minute or longer, we would really appreciate the help. Thank you for everyone that stopped by the job fair a couple of weeks ago when I was out of town to help with Kaylee. I do appreciate that very much. But next Wednesday, we've got our next one. And so we could definitely use some support on that too. If you're available, let us know. And like I said, this number, you wrote this in blood. Whether you had like the greatest phone time of all just a few seconds ago or the worst one of all, this is just the beginning of you following through on what you said you're going to do. And if it's Monday at 7 p.m., And Kosie's only completed 3 appointments. Kosie's going to be on the phone looking to book same day demos. Because if it gets to midnight and all of a sudden you're still on the phone and you couldn't hit it, but you tried, that's the same thing as hitting your goal. The only thing that matters is that you just didn't give up on it. Obviously, we can't control everything, but we can do our best to influence. So thank you so much for your efforts so far. We booked like 35 appointments today. That's a good start. So that's like half of what we need to do. We got a awesome phone time tomorrow morning. Tomorrow at the training, we got phone time. Saturday morning, we got some phone time. Monday morning, we got phone time. And then you got your own private phone times. So if you have any questions, feel free to stick around. If you need supplies, leather, or anything to cut up on your demos, Jose and Kaylee can help you out. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. We've got our taxi drivers that will offer to give you a ride home. So please, nobody Uber, because we have people that all live within 1 minute of each other. Don't be crazy. Just ask for help if you need it. Yes, ma'am.
What time do you want me here to, Brody? I'm still gonna come and do PDI and then help everyone come in for training.
So I'm gonna be here for PDI as of 8.
Yeah,
They show up here at 11.
okay.
So if you want to come here before that, you have an exam at what time?
I don't have an exam tomorrow, it's today.
Oh, so
But I had it,
how'd it go?
Good. Took me about 30 minutes,
Okay.
about an hour and a half class, if I took my phone.
Still alive?
Yeah, I wanted to throw up. I hate exams,
Yeah.
nerves just get to me.
Okay.
No, I'll be here at 8 AM tomorrow.
Okay.
Do you need me to bring anything?
No.
It's my cell phone, it's a bell. Alright.
Thank you, Karen.
Regarding the helping with the phone jams, how does that look like? I'm definitely interested. I mean, like,
Yeah. I get it.
I've been waiting for something like this. Man.
Great, man. I'm happy to hear it. So let's do this. Are you available tomorrow at all in the evening or Saturday in the morning?
I should be. I have a pool tournament at 5 PM tomorrow.
Okay. What about Saturday in the morning between like 9 to about 11?
I can be there, but what's evening for you on the? Because I
So
don't know.
tomorrow, yeah, the phone jam goes from 6:30 to 7:30. That's like the main phone time.
Okay.
If you're able to be here for that, that's awesome.
Okay.
If not, I know we have one other, I know Kaylee's gonna be here to help with that. But Saturday morning would be really helpful as well, because that's when the representatives are making, that's when they're gonna be practicing the demo back and forth. I'll be meeting with speakers one-on-one.
So Saturday morning, 9 to 11.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
We'll get that started. And what we'll do is, we'll get a call. Let's say, let me book something for you right now before I forget on Sunday, and we'll look to kind of put together some schedule things for you. Actually, if you just want to hop on our, we have a staff meeting on Sunday at 7 PM.
Meeting at 7 PM.
Yeah, if you want to jump on that, once you get on that, we'll give you, you can kind of listen to that. We'll give you a couple tasks.
And is this over Zoom or?
That'll be in Zoom.
And will you send me a text?
Yeah, let me send you an invite to that. That'll be the easiest way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get you some. Give me 1 second.
You want some of this?
You don't understand my phone?
Yeah, I'm taking Rebecca too, so.
I forgot. You
It'll be- I think it was that too. I'm doing Rebecca, and Noah, I have one more spot.
Okay, you should have gotten the Zoom invite to 7:30.
I do have enough spots. Okay, so. Carpool party. Do we have leather?
It should be in that container underneath the table.
I feel a little left out.
I had a question. Hello?
Hey Gabby, what's up?
Hi, sorry. How do I fill out that thing? Can you send me like a link or something?
Am I not sharing my screen right now?
No, I don't see anything.
My bad, hold on. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Nice.
You are very welcome. Lily, when's your next phone time? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Cool, where you going?
It's in College Station.
What do you think?
The guy named Zachary, just a computer artist. I don't actually like him until I have my face.
Okay. All right, so you won't be able to make it to that. Okay, sounds good. Well, then let's talk. I'll give you a call. Do you have class tomorrow morning?
Well, yes, but no, because I have no chair and I have no car now either, so.
Okay. I'll give you a call tomorrow around 9
Okay.
and we can go over some schedule stuff and see what we're doing.
On Zoom tomorrow. Anyway.